Do we need to be loved? This is a question that we're going to try and tackle today, and hopefully I do it justice. So first of all, it's good to address the idea of love. What do we mean by it? Sometimes we can mean familial love, like love from a family member. We can talk about love in relationship to somebody else. But is this the love that we're talking about? No. Though those things are lovely, we're only going to experience love to the degree of life that we can take in. Now that probably sounds confusing. Jamie, what on earth do you mean? Well, let's dive deeper into that. Love isn't necessarily something that's relational, meaning it can't be dependent on somebody else, right? If it is dependent on somebody else, then it's conditional, usually, unless they're completely and utterly enlightened, and our parents tend not to be that way. But we won't feel the experience of love if we aren't in the experience of love, meaning, where is love created? It's not outside. Somebody can love the hell out of me for the work that I do, for example, but I may not feel that love inside. Why? Maybe I'm not connected to the work that I'm doing, and therefore I don't love myself, I don't love my life. And I'm working with a few people that experience that in their lives at the moment. And of course, if you're interested in some one-to-one coaching, then down below there's the free application form. You can fill it out and I'll see if we're a good match. Coaching itself isn't free, but we do have plenty of free offerings here on the channel. There's a free introduction to Hatha Yoga that you can sign up for down below. There's a free breathing practice, which is sure to elicit some lovely feeling inside of you. And there's a free community on Discord or Facebook. They're also down below. You can find them in the comments section. So, is there really a need to be loved? Well, when I ask this question, I'm coming from the perspective of, is there a need to be loved by people? Well, if we do need to be loved by people, then it's totally okay, and I've experienced this so much in my life. Then is it not true that we perhaps are giving all of our power away to the external world? It's okay to want love from somebody else, but we're only going to experience that feeling of love to the degree that we love ourselves, and not in an egotistical way. When I say the degree that we love ourselves, I mean, how much of life are we taking in? How much are we capturing? How intense of an experience of life am I enjoying through my own vessel that we call the body? How alive is this body feeling? That's love, right? Does it feel super sweet and light and joyous and blissful? If we're blissed out all the time, then of course, we're in love, right? With ourselves. We don't need somebody else. We're not dependent, codependent on another person to give us or transmit us that love. Because we are, in a sense, self-assured, self-loved in this way. And this is the kind of unconditional love that I'm wanting to point out to us. Let's say we're a people pleaser. Guilty. Been there in my life, And I've just begun to come out of that, really, if I'm really honest with myself, very recently. Because I begin to notice that actually people-pleasing is just a subtle form of control, isn't it? It's, I need to be validated by you externally. Why? Because for some reason, I don't feel validated inside of myself. Well then, is this, let's say somebody does validate me, and I assume that this is the feeling of love. Is this really love? Well, maybe, to one perspective, yes, it's love. But it's such a limited idea of love, isn't it? Because love is our birthright. If only we would do the right things, to put ourselves and our body into the right way so that we could receive the love and the blessings that life has for us. We're not talking about anything out there. We're talking about, can I channel that energy of love into the body? And that's not a mental concept, is it? That requires gritty physical action on the yoga mat, huh? This is that kind of love that's unshakable. And then when we recognize that we have this feeling of love inside, the only one that can ruin it is me. Isn't it? If I'm so happy and blessed out on the inside, the only one that can ruin that is me. Through self-hating patterns in the mind, we know these. By believing obtrusive thoughts, we know these, right? But if I'm blissed out on the inside, and somebody else on the outside does something silly or tries to knock me from my path, can it? Well, if we're deeply grounded in that unconditional feeling love inside, no, they can't. Not unless I agree to it, isn't it? As soon as they say something nasty or mean, if I believe it, that's it. Game over for me. And isn't my belief in it just another subtle form of people pleasing? Because I can't trust myself and I can't validate myself, I'm just going to believe what you say about me because I'm not confident enough to stand up for myself and I don't know myself in a big enough way to be able to stay strong in my energy and go, okay, your belief is your belief, huh? It doesn't make me, and it doesn't affect me unless I agree to it, unless I myself too believe the thing that you're saying about me. It's a subtle form of people pleasing. It's a subtle form of control. It's let me give all of my power away to you right now, so that we don't have a confrontation right now, because I'm not strong enough yet, and that's okay, to say, no, you're wrong, or okay, whatever, or I don't care, I'm loving my life. So why do we do this? Why do we give all of our power away to other people? Well, it stems from a sense of insecurity, right? And we're not to blame for that, you know. We're conditioned and brought up in a certain way. We're told certain things about ourselves from our peers and our family, because our peers or our family in that moment aren't in their own power. They're feeling insecure, so they hit back or something, or they're feeling stressed out and they go, stop doing that. But then that impacts us, huh? And then from that, we feel like there's something wrong with us. Or if a friend calls you weird, then we believe that we're weird, especially if they all call us weird, huh? I know this in me. Like, I'm not saying anything from a distance. Like, I'm in it. This is my life. It's just my mess has suddenly, through YouTube, become my message. Well, hopefully that mess is helpful, because I know a lot of us resonate with my mess. Let me tell you, my life has been one big screw up. Until I started doing some yoga, some pranayamas, breathing practices. Do you know the word pranayama? It means prana, life force, yama, control of. Gaining control of our own life force. That's like a superpower these days, huh? It doesn't take much either. A few breaths and then we're in that feeling of wonderfulness and we can take on the world. All right, we still shake for a while because we still believe these bad things about ourselves. And when somebody says something to me that's in alignment with that bad thing that I feel about myself, oh, then I'll wobble and I'll shake, and that's okay. And I probably won't be able to monetize this video because I'm about to say something, but we can become so unfuckwithable in our consciousness if only we gain control of our life force, our energy. Then, when I love my energy and I love the life that it's creating for me and the way that I feel, what can touch me? Same for anybody else. I'm not special. You know, I've just dedicated my life to doing these practices and it works. But what could touch you? If the energy inside you feels so good, so alive, would somebody saying something nasty about you wobble you? Of course, I'm not saying things don't wobble me. Things wobble me still, of course, yeah. I'm not perfect. But can this be something that we get better at? Yeah. And it's like this. So here's to the path, huh? And here's to your authentic journey. I love you lots. Namaste.